it's Trisha the knitting lady. How's everybody doing? See that cute little baby? That was me. Years and years ago. And the photo on the right, which you can't see very well, is a photo of myself. See, my hair is originally dark. I've done a little lightening because it turned gray, started to turn gray when I was 30. And those are my parents with me, the day of my graduation from college. And the other thing I wanted to Hi everybody, I had to go grab a shawl to put on because I'm wearing a sweatshirt and it looks so droppy. So I'm gonna wind up showing my sweatshirt anyway, because this is a shawl I made from Shaw on the Ball. I don't even know if that color is still out there. It's got a little bit of sparkly in it. And it's a boomerang shawl. I don't know if you've ever seen the pattern for a boomerang shawl. It's knitted, it's pretty basic, and if anybody wants, I can give them a pattern for it. It's out there, I didn't pay for it. It's out there in pattern land, I call it, on the internet. But I can find one and send it to you, or if you want me to include it in a future video, I will do that. Let me put my shawl back on, wrap myself up. It's still a little cold. And I know people up in the, I'm on the East Coast, but I'm in North Carolina. My son in New York City says he's got over a foot of snow already. I don't miss that. We do get snow in North Carolina, but usually not by me, because I'm on the coast. That doesn't mean we'll never get snow, just haven't seen it yet. So, I'm sorry I didn't do a video yesterday. I got off work and I had a terrible headache. I don't do well with headaches. I don't know how people do with migraines. I don't know if I could deal with that. I guess I could if I had to, but I'm glad I don't. I don't get headaches very often. So I pretty much got off work, ate something, and went to bed. Was reading my book and watching my reruns of The Nanny, which I think is funny. So the quotation for today, I tried to read it the day before, sorry about that, was thinking in spirituality. So, we rarely allow ourselves to be in the world without thinking about it. Seldom do we look at a beautiful sunset without turning to someone to say, isn't that a beautiful sunset? Worse, our thinking can distract or occupy us so much that we don't even notice the sunset in the first place. There is value in being mindful of the world and what it offers without comment or thought. To be present in the moment, feeling the warmth of the sun on our skin, breathing in the cool, crisp air, listening to the chirp of birds in the early morning. And the affirmation for today is, I will close my eyes and allow myself to be in the world and the world to be in me without trying to attach words to what I am experiencing. And the photo in the book is a winter scene appropriate for today with the people that are getting snow. And the affirmation for tomorrow is about living every day. And Jonathan Swift, the one who wrote Gulliver's Travels, it's a quotation from him. May you live all the days of your life. Okay. How often do we ask ourselves, as if waking from a dream, where has the time gone? I ask that every day. What happened yesterday, last week, last month, last year? Our lives are all that we have on earth, and yet how many days do we let slip by without living them as fully as we might? Living every day doesn't have to mean trying to achieve something significant every moment that we're conscious. No one could sustain a life like that. It just means doing something each day that adds value to our lives and the lives of others. And the affirmation for tomorrow is, I will do something today that will make me feel that I have really lived. So that's good if you can do that. So what else can I talk about? When I had the headache yesterday, I was thinking of a scene from Aladdin where Robin Williams played a genie. He gets out of the bottle and he says, oh, something about the bottle, and says, gives you a crick in the neck. I can't do Robin Williams. I mean, the man was a genius. He definitely, when he was on stage, he was on. He always made a big entrance. You always knew when he walked into a room, it was just going to be, constant, nothing quiet about him. And when he was quiet, it was like, okay, what's wrong with him? He just took over the stage. Because I watched reruns of when he appeared on talk shows and other places, and he really pretty much took over. So, yesterday was the 31st of January, the last day. And what can I tell you about yesterday? Did you know the average person spends about 38 hours a year stuck in traffic? Well, that's not the case in the last year. Most people were home. And yesterday was the birthday of Justin Timberlake, who was born 1981, and Jackie Robinson, famous baseball player. He was born in 1919 and died in 1972. And this is an interesting fact. I thought this was kind of fascinating. And you might think, well, why didn't I think of that? What did 11-year-old Frank Eberson create on a cold winter night in 1905? The Popsicle. He mixed a soft drink made with soda water powder and water and left a stirring stick in it. He left it on the porch overnight by accident, and it turned into what we call a popsicle. More than 18 years later, Epperson applied for a patent for frozen ice on a stick, which it was. Initially called an Epsicle, but later renamed a popsicle. So I know if you've ever made your own popsicles, there is, I think there's a little, a tray that you can, in the shape of popsicles, you can make popsicles. I've never made them. I don't eat popsicles now anymore because they hurt my teeth. There's a problem with getting older. Certain things bother you. But I used to like popsicles. Okay, this was something to do with D-Day. On January 31st, 1944, several key military and political leaders agreed to postpone the D-Day invasion due to a shortage of ships. The date was changed from May the 1st, 1944 to June the 5th, 1944. So that just goes to show, when I find this trivia stuff, the weirdest things come up. So on January 31st, they made that decision to occur months later. The initial plans began in December of 1943. General Dwight D. Eisenhower and British General Bernard Montgomery called to increase the size of the secret military operation. I never knew his first name was Bernard. I guess because He was General Montgomery. Monty, didn't they call him Monty? Anyway, they increased the number from 3 to 5 land divisions and included 3 divisions of air support. So on June the 4th, Eisenhower decided to postpone the invasion a day. So it was postponed from June the 5th to June the 6th, which June 6th is D-Day, due to the high winds and the heavy seas. And on June 6, 1944, 156,000 combined British, Canadian, and American troops stormed the beaches in Normandy, France, as part of Operation Overlord, which is what it was formerly called. By the time the sun set, the Allies had established a foothold, eventually leading them to Berlin and the defeat of Nazi Germany. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Saving Private Ryan. I think my son was in high school when it came out. And I remember he came in the house and he said to me, "Mom, where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going to go see the movie, Saving Private Ryan." He had already seen. I can't even talk. So what else is new? I take a day off, I still can't talk. But let me get back to the story. So I was going to go see the movie Saving Private Ryan. And my son had already seen it. So he says to me, "Mom, you can't see that movie." And I said, "Well, why not?" He says, "Mom, listen to me. I know how you are. You're not going to be able to get past the beginning of the movie." Oh, come on. So if anybody's ever seen that movie, it starts out them landing on the beaches. Well, they're in the ships. And I forget the technical name for the ships. The landing gear. And they got on the beach and it was a bloodbath. Steven Spielberg, who directed the movie, was very smart that he did not have music. To tell you the truth, no music would have been able to be good enough for that. Not good enough, but it would have took away from the effect. And it was like you were landing on the beach, like you were in the ships and landing on the beach. And I did get a little nauseous because the camera was following the waves and everything else. And I didn't last. My son was right. I wound up coming home. I went to the bathroom. I got a little sick because I was a little nauseous. I was getting motion sickness, and I went home. So I still can't watch the beginning of that movie. I've tried to watch it on video, and I can't do it. So I fast forward to when they actually are on the beach. And even then, I have to fast forward a little bit past that. And all I kept seeing when I was watching that movie was my son and his friends. Because they were not much younger than the actual men who landed on that beach. So he was right. When I got home and I said to him, "Don't say you told me so." And he goes, "I'm not." But I've always had an interest in D-Day and the courage it took for these men to land on that beach, knowing they were targets. They were moving targets. It's just amazing. But enough about that. So let's get to today, February 1st, 2021. Late Night with David Letterman premiered on NBC. It's the birthday of Lisa Marie Presley, 1968. I believe she's 53. Boy, I remember when she was born. And Harry Styles was born in 1994. I don't know really anything about Harry Styles. I know he's very popular. And the cheesesteak sandwich was invented in Philadelphia. My mother was born in Philadelphia. The sandwich consists of thinly sliced pieces of beefsteak and melted cheese on a hoagie roll. Pat and Henry Olivier, I'm not pronouncing that name right, created the sandwich, credited with inventing the sandwich in 1930s. The restaurant is Pat's King of Steaks and is still open in Philadelphia. American cheese, cheese whiz, and provolone cheese are the most commonly used cheeses. Now, most people who have the original or like the original cheesesteak prefer cheese whiz. I'm not a fan of cheese whiz, but most likely the original cheesesteaks had cheese whiz on it. I do like Philly cheesesteaks though. One of my favorite sandwiches. And on this day in 1887, Hollywood was officially registered with the Recorder's Office in Los Angeles County, California. And the sign, Hollywood Land, well, there's that big sign, Hollywood. It started out saying Hollywood Land, and it was advertising housing development, not housing development, real estate. And it was created in 1940. Okay, I forget when they put up this sign. I know I read it, and anyway, in 1949, the letters that spelled land were taken down to represent the town instead of the just the development. So it's now Hollywood. The Walk of Fame, this is trivia about Hollywood. You know the Walk of Fame with all the famous people? You had to be nominated by a sponsor, and that sponsor has to pay to create, install, and maintain the star. They pay $30,000 to create, well, to sponsor the individual person. And also, contracts in old Hollywood contained morality clauses, which when you read the history of Hollywood now, you say, well, I think they looked another way on many people. If the public found out there was an affair or a moral scandal, the star or the actor or actress could be immediately released. You had to get approval from the studios for any relationships. So the studios pretty much owned you. And that extended to children as well. A pregnancy could be a strike against you. I remember reading about Judy Garland, and I think it was her second husband. Anyway, she got pregnant. Yeah, with Vincent Minnelli was her second husband. And the studio was furious at her. But she wanted a baby, and then she had Liza Minnelli. And the light on the Capitol Records towers blinks the word Hollywood in Morse code. And that's been going on since 1958. Now, I've never been to Los Angeles. I never had a desire to. All I kept hearing how much traffic there was. I know people used to take buses to Los Angeles from where I lived in Tucson, Arizona, but I just didn't have the desire to go there, so I never went to Los Angeles. I've been to San Francisco, been to San Diego, Santa Monica, but I've never been to Los Angeles. And personally, I don't think I'm missing anything. Maybe back in the day, but now doesn't have a very good reputation. So, that's about it. I caught up. There's nothing much going on except work is busy. And like I've said before, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with a video every night. I figured I'd do this and then I'd go make dinner. I'm gonna make some salmon. And I don't know whether I'll make rice or mashed potatoes. We shall see. I eat good, don't I? For just cooking for myself. So I hope everybody's doing fine. And if anyone wants that pattern, just let me know. Okay, take care.